Hey guys, welcome to Raw vs SmackDown, where we look at both shows for the week and we give them a grade at the end. I also give my opinions of both shows and, I ask you guys, what do you guys think? Now, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. Now that's all said and done, let's get on with the review and let's hit the music. So we kicked off this week's Raw with a contract signing. That's right, we had Seth and Braun Strowman supposedly signing their contract for Clash of Champions for the Universal title match. We already know that Braun and Seth will be defending their tag team titles against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler at Clash of Champions as well. They were quickly interrupted by none other than the OC. This was awesome, by the way. We had AJ Styles cutting a damn good promo against Michael Cole, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, saying Braun only got a title shot because he kept on looking at the Universal title, and seeing as I'm the United States champion, shouldn't I have a title shot? I'm the most recognized star, I should have it if that's how everything's going to go. Obviously the OC aren't happy after them losing the titles to Seth and Braun Strowman a couple of weeks ago. I thought this was great. I thought AJ was absolutely fantastic. This was a fun segment with AJ and Seth and Braun Strowman. Obviously this caused a clash between all five superstars, and then when it looked like Braun and Seth were going to finally overcome the numbers, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode came out and attacked Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, being the numbers game being a little bit too much for the monster among men and the Universal Champion. Again, like I said, this was a very well worked segment. AJ's comments were absolutely correct and it was actually really fun to watch. This also caused for next week that we will be getting a new moderator for the contract signing, none other than the rattlesnake himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now give me a hell yeah, hell yeah. I thought this was great. Having Stone Cold coming out Madison Square Garden makes sense. I still don't think Braun's going to be the Universal, challenging for the Universal title at Clash of Champions. I still have a bad feeling it's going to be AJ Styles who somehow worms his way in to this match at Clash of Champions. But I'm super excited. Again, really well worked segment for Raw. Next up, we did see Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode in action, and they were against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Again, I really like Hawkins and Ryder. I think they're very underused in WWE, and they're one of the better undercard tag teams that they've got in the company. This was a damn good match as well. Hawkins and Ryder really worked their asses off in this one, really showing the chemistry between the newly formed Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I think that was a good showing of it, and having a former Raw tag team champions in Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler working well did really help each other out. Again, this was a fantastic match, nothing really too spectacular. It did look like Zack Ryder and Hawkins was going to get the victory, but again, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler managed to overcome, their momentum push to get the victory. Next up, we had Natalya versus Lacey Evans. We're seeing a little bit more of Lacey Evans this last couple of weeks, and it's good to see her back on TV. No, I don't want to see her challenging for titles anytime soon, but it's actually good to see someone who was one of the big heels only just not that long ago back on TV. Natalya is a fantastic opponent to take on, in my opinion. She is hardworking and she makes Lacey Evans looks fantastic in the ring. Again, this just shows you how good Natalya truly is when it comes to these type of matches, because she absolutely makes Evans look a million times better. This was a fantastic match. Lacey Evans did win with the women's right. That move, again, coming out of nowhere, it's a simplified move, but it's such a good move because it, again, like everyone states with it, it just can be hit any time and she can just turn a match around. And again, it looked like that was going to happen. Natalya is still struggling with injuries. So for me, it was a fun match between the two. It wasn't anything too spectacular to talk about, but again, it was still a fun match, and it gives Lacey Evans some more momentum from her return to Raw. Next up, we had Sasha Banks challenge the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title at Clash of Champions. Again, makes sense. Sasha Banks is now probably the biggest heel on Raw TV right now for the women's division. I think Becky Lynch has held the title fantastically, but maybe it's time. I think she's kind of dulled. You know, not dulled. I think it's kind of like she's lost a little bit of spark as Becky since she's been Raw Women's Champion, and I think that's a fair statement to say. I think the fans still like her. I think we're still supporting her 110%. But I think we kind of missed the Becky Lynch who challenged for the belt more than we've missed, you know, Becky Lynch who is champion. Don't get me wrong, I like Becky being the man, I like her holding the title, but I do want to see her, you know, chasing for a while, because Becky chasing was awesome. It was one of the reasons we got really well behind. I think we got behind Becky because she was someone we wanted to support, and now we fully support her, and she's now the Raw Women's Champion. This was something, you know, we need to change up a little bit, and I think I think Sasha coming back, winning the title could be an exciting time for the Raw Women's division. Next up, we had a King of the Ring qualification match. A damn good match, I've got to say. It was Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. Before the match even starts, Cedric was doing a backstage interview. He got attacked by the OC. Again, makes no sense. I can understand if you want to protect Cedric if he's going to lose the match, which he did, by having him get attacked before the match. But shouldn't it have been Corbin who attacked him before the match? That would have made more sense and gives more heat to Corbin before going into this match. But it was the OC. They attacked Cedric. He wasn't really even talking about the OC. They attacked him. He goes out. He puts on a hell of a match. Cedric Alexander is MVP for the night for me for Raw. Again, Mustafa Ali will get that for SmackDown. Both guys are just brilliant. They really well worked with these big guys. They, you know. And Cedric again keeps impressing me. He's a likable babyface. I even tweeted that. I think I texted that to my friends last night while watching Corbin versus Cedric. I was like, Cedric's a likable babyface. He should be challenging for the US title, for, you know, mid-card titles until maybe one day Royal Rumble win. Maybe. I think it's gonna. But I would love to see him in high-profile matches, and this was good. Corbin's a good heel, you know, competitor to take on, and they had a fantastic chemistry in the ring, working the arm. Cedric using his speed over Corbin really worked, and then when Corbin went into the ring post, Cedric kept on bashing his arm into the ring post to try and disable him. End of the day, Corbin overpowered him by the end, qualifying to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. But a damn good match altogether. I really enjoyed it. Next up, we had the Viking Raiders versus local talent. Now again, this was supposed to be an interesting one, but it was a bit weird that we actually had an interview with the jobbers beforehand, and they were heels. They were heel jobbers, and pretty much Viking Raiders killed them, and the crowd loved them for it. Are they trying to turn the Viking Raiders babyface? Who knows? We don't know what's going on with the Viking Raiders. I keep saying this, they should be challenging for Raw titles or SmackDown titles. Just put them on just give them a tag team titles or make them feel like one of the. But this, it just feels like these jobber type of matches aren't working for the Viking Raiders as we speak. Next up, we had another qualification match for the King of the Ring tournament, where it was Ricochet versus Samoa Joe. This was a hard-hitting match. Ricochet and Samoa Joe have absolutely brilliant chemistry. We saw that when they fought for the United States title, and they showed it again tonight. Samoa Joe is one of those guys where I keep watching him and I keep thinking, why are WWE not giving this guy a title? I mean, a big title like the Universal or the WWE title makes no sense. Samoa Joe is just absolutely fun to watch. And he just makes, you know, his promos are fantastic, he's great in the ring, and this match against Ricochet was hell of a match. Both men taking risks each and every time, and by the end of it, when we got a double pinfall and like no one knew what was going on, the referee had to go backstage to speak to someone. Corbin's backstage going, well, they're both being disqualified, so I get an easy pass to the final, and then the ref just goes, no, talked it over to officials. It's going to be a triple threat match at Madison Square Garden for the Raw finalists. I was like, yes, that will work if we have Ricochet beat Samoa Joe. To be honest, I would love it if Samoa Joe is in the final against Chad Gable, because that will work. I think that would be a hell of a final. But yes, I'm excited about that. Then we had the Firefly Funhouse, where it looks like whoever wins the Universal title match at Clash of Champions, we're getting The Fiend and them in a Hell in a Cell match. Yes, take my money, here you go. £9.99 a month. For that alone is well worth it. Then we had The Miz versus Cesaro, a good match between two veteran wrestlers in the company. Again, I really like what they're doing with The Miz. They keep on building some momentum against someone like Cesaro is really well worked. It was a very, it wasn't a great match. It was just a fun, entertaining match, and the crowd were behind The Miz. Then it comes to the Women's Championship showcase match, which saw the Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, and the Tag Team Champions, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. This was a fantastic little match. It didn't last too long. We had a great interview with Bayley backstage before the match, where they kind of undercut the SmackDown Women's title, which kind of hinted of why Bayley would do what she did. She did, and it was fantastic. Sasha Banks comes out. She's watching on for such a long time. Bayley and Sasha Banks are getting outplayed by the Tag Team Champions, and then Sasha gets involved. The match ends in DQ. She gets a steel chair. She starts beating down on Becky Lynch. Bayley comes and stops her. Everyone's like, oh, what's Bayley gonna do? She takes the chair and she beats the crap out of Becky Lynch, and the crowd goes mental. That announcement moves us on to SmackDown Live for this week. So we started off with Bayley. Bayley came out, and she came out to explain everything which goes on about why she attacked Becky Lynch, and it kind of made sense on her perspective of why she did it. How could no one see that her friendship with Sasha Banks was still going on? She stated it over and over again. People dismissed her as a Women's Champion. She is the SmackDown Women's Champion. She wants to be making the SmackDown Women's title as important as the Raw Women's title. And why would she turn her back on the one person who was always with her? Again, making sense. She even talks about how she's trying to be a role model to the kids because she wants to show them that you might not always agree with what your friend does, but you always stick with your friends. Again, a good lesson to have. And then obviously she starts dismissing Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair does come out, and they have a few words beforehand, and then Sasha Banks turns up. Charlotte does not feel comfortable. Obviously she knows what's going to happen if Sasha Banks is there. Charlotte takes out Bayley. She tries to take out Sasha Banks. Bayley gets back up with a steel chair, and they start beating down on the Queen of all eras with a steel chair. I think everyone was expecting Becky Lynch to come out, but let's be honest, why would Becky come out to save Charlotte Flair after the feud those two have had over the last year alone for the SmackDown Women's title? Again, wouldn't make much sense. But I thought this was a really good little opening for SmackDown Live. It kind of shows, yes, Bayley is kind of babyface still, but she will become, she's more close to the heel side than she's ever been before. Sasha Banks coming out and helping her. Yes, she is a heel, but she still will protect her friend. And Charlotte Flair getting beaten down. Is this a prelude to what's going to happen at Clash of Champions? I hope so. I thought this was a great opening from SmackDown Live, and it kept me interested in what's going on with Bayley and Sasha Banks. Next up, we had a qualification match where we saw Mustafa Ali versus Elias, and this was a hell of a match of the night for me. Probably one of the best matches we got on WWE TV. And I said it, Cedric got MVP on Raw. Mustafa Ali gets it tonight on SmackDown Live. Two capable wrestlers. I thought it wasn't going to work at first. I was a bit concerned on that one. But after a while, both men really put on a fantastic match. And it was fun to watch. It was just a hard hitting. Ali selling the leg. Elias selling the arm. We had a 405 on Elias's arm. We saw Elias using a submission move, which we never get to see him do. I thought this was a brilliant match, and Elias only just won with pure strength alone. Mustafa Ali was technically better than him, speed wise stronger. It just wasn't going to work out because, let's be honest, Mustafa Ali just didn't have the power to take on Elias. Then it led to a women's tag team match where we saw the women's tag team champions Nikki Cross and Mandy Rose versus Fire and Desire. Did I say Mandy? Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I think I'm losing it, yeah. But yes, this one again wasn't a great match, but it led on to someone definitely having, because I was thinking when they were talking about Clash of Champions, well, who's going to challenge for the women's tag team titles? And it makes sense. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville have kind of always been there. Do I see them winning the titles at Clash of Champions? No, I don't. And I will do a predictions video for Clash of Champions when we get closer to it. But for me right now, no, I can't see them winning the titles anytime soon. But I think it makes sense that they are the ones challenging, because I can't see any other teams. Asuka and Kairi Sane have disappeared in the sunset yet again, and there's no one else really on Raw who's challenging for those titles, so Mandy and Sonya are the obvious choices, and the Iconics have disappeared since they've lost the titles altogether. But yeah, it was a decent match. It was a bit of confusion. Alexa Bliss kind of got a bit distracted of what was going on with Nikki Cross and Mandy Rose outside the ring. That distraction allowed Sonya Deville to get her knees up before Alexa Bliss hit them. Moment of bliss. Yeah, I think it's Twisted Bliss. And obviously Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose double teamed, getting the pinfall and getting the victory. Like I said, it wasn't anything special, but it was a damn decent match to watch in the end. Randy Orton then came out. He addresses the WWE Universe. He's talking about how he's ready for Kofi Kingston. He still keeps calling Kofi stupid, which is fine. I like it. I think 2019, stupid can be used as a good insult still. So far, the New Day have been absolutely destroyed by Randy Orton and the Revival. Randy does call out Kofi. He goes, let's do it tonight. Why do we have to wait for Clash of Champions? Let's just do it now. And Kofi's music hits. We're all prepared. And where's Kofi? He's getting his ass beaten up by the Revival. That sounds really bad. He gets beaten up by the Revival. They chuck him in the ring. Randy Orton RKOs him. He's about to get taken out again. He gets hit by a super RKO by the Revival and Randy Orton. He does fight back a little bit, but again, the numbers games just overpower him, and Randy Orton just takes out Kofi yet again by taking out his leg. This is really well worked. While taking out his leg, he keeps on stamping and shouting, stupid, stupid, stupid. And I was like, Randy's going to break Kofi. And would I mind Randy Orton being a 14-time WWE champion? Hell no. I want to see it. So put the title back on Randy. I think this vicious Randy Orton is really working for me. Then it moves on to the next qualification match, which was Andrade versus Chad Gable. Before the match, we did see Samoa Joe talking to Chad Gable backstage. Kept on doing the short jokes, but again, the mind games from Samoa Joe, saying, you probably heard them all your life, but they still hurt, don't they, Chad? And then it goes on to the match. You have Zelina Vega talk about being short herself, talk about how she respects Chad Gable, but there's only one person winning this match, and it's Andrade. And this was a damn good match. Again, a very good match. SmackDown had put, apart from there was like one or two matches which weren't really anything to really talk about. We had two really good matches on SmackDown, and that's really good for TV. We had Ali versus Elias, which I thought was really good, and then Chad Gable's versus Andrade, which was fantastic. This was for me, a career-making match for Chad Gable. I was expecting Andrade to win. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be Andrade. It's going to be a whole heel final at the end. I'm glad Chad won. If Chad wins this title, wins the King of the Ring tournament, I will be happy, because I think out of everyone who's in this, I think he's the one who needs that kind of gimmick change. I think this will do good for him, and if it could give him opportunities, and I really do hope it does. He wins the match. So many opportunities for Andrade and himself. Andrade tries to hit the hammerlock DDT. He manages to get out. It's just a great match, and he finally gets to pull him down. Got a quick pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Chad Gable is now in the last two of the SmackDown bracket for the King of the Ring tournament. Then we had Aleister Black versus Shelton Benjamin. This started off with Aleister Black backstage saying, if the mountain doesn't come to me, I will go to the mountain. And then it hit a commercial break. He comes out. And then it's Shelton Benjamin who's in the ring. And I was a bit like, yeah, this could really work. But it was such a short match. I was like, was there a need for it? Both men tried going all out. Aleister Black looked like he was already... Shelton Benjamin was in second gear. Aleister Black was already in third. One, black mass later, and Aleister Black wins the match. I'm not surprised. Aleister Black should be challenging for titles. You kind of forget he's on SmackDown. I mean, this promo hit, and you're like, oh yeah, he's on SmackDown. Where's he been? But yeah, again, not a great match. It was good just to see Aleister Black on TV altogether. Then we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus a jobber with Sami Zayn just piping on the mic. This was just annoyance. Shinsuke just absolutely destroys this guy. It's nothing really much to talk about. It's just building up a bit of momentum for Shinsuke Nakamura. And then last but not least, it's Daniel Bryan demanding an apology from Roman Reigns. Daniel's out in the ringside. He's going on about how he didn't know anything about Rollins attacking Roman or anything like that, how much he hates liars, and he does hate liars. He keeps saying it, I hate liars. Roman comes out. You can tell Roman doesn't believe this. He gets taken out by Rollins. Rollins keeps beating the crap out of him. Daniel tries to stop him, kinda, say I hate liars, all this. Rollins pushes him to one side. He starts throwing Roman Reigns into the barricade. He starts, bashing him around in the ring, and you're like, oh my god, he's going to destroy Roman Reigns here. It looks like he's about to put Roman through the commentating table. Daniel Bryan stops him. Rollins gets the mic. He cuts a damn good promo while he's in the ring with Roman Reigns. He tells Daniel no one tells him what to do anymore, and tells Daniel to slap him again if he wants to, but he will show him why that's a mistake. Daniel does slap him again when he's about to put Roman through the commentating table. I mean, Rollins just Iron Claw Daniel Bryan through the table, and that's the end of the show. Rollins has just destroyed Daniel Bryan and Roman. Does this mean we're going to get babyface Daniel Bryan again? I kind of hope so. But yes, this is a great twist. Rowan is now on his own. He is going out to destroy Roman Reigns. Really good way to end the show. I thought this was real. The feud kind of lost a little bit last week, and then now they've kind of picked it up again with this. So I'm really happy that they managed to salvage this for the show. Now to see which show won for this week. I thought it was very close. I think the King of the Ring matches were fantastic. I think the only one I wasn't too happy about was the Baron Corbin qualifying. I think it should have been Cedric Alexander, and then now you see it being Ricochet, Samoa Joe, and Baron Corbin to fight out for the final. You know, for the final. That's exciting. That is exciting. I think Raw did a lot of good. I think Bayley turning heel really was a good, you know, oh my god, what's happened to Bayley kind of thing. Then having Bayley start SmackDown Live strong, beating up Charlotte Flair with Sasha Banks, again just showing this alliance is going to be very dominant. And then rolling at the end, you had Ali have a fantastic match against Elias. Again, am I too upset Ali didn't win? Yes, I am a little bit upset. He was kind of my pick for the King of the Ring tournament, so him not winning kind of puts me down a little bit. But to be honest, you know, giving Elias that push kind of makes a little bit more sense. Having Chad Gable beat Elias will be huge for him as well, because I think right now Elias is one of the big heels in SmackDown right now. Having that fantastic match against Andrade, just brilliant. So which show won for this week? Well, I'm going to go for SmackDown Live. I think that's just the fairest point. If I was going to give them a score out of 5 like I usually do, I would give Raw a 2.5 out of 5. I think that's a fair score. But I'm going to give SmackDown Live this week a 3.5 out of 5. And I just think it was the strongest show for the week. But what about you guys? Which show did you think won for this week? Leave it in the comments below. Use the poll at the top to see which show you'd liked as well. And I will see you guys next time on Smack Talks Raw versus SmackDown Live. I'll see you guys next week.